Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm Rantoinette. Like and subscribe. Now let's get into it. Boy, the co-presidents have gotten in, they've been sticking their foot in their mouth for the last couple of days. Let's start with our big fat wet beefy boy Donald Trump. He was asked an interesting question that it's on the minds of everyone in America. What is a woman? And Donald Trump says a woman is somebody who could give birth and maybe make my baby. But she's got to be like a 9 or a 10 or something, because I'm not doing that with anybody that's below a 7. Not going to have it. She's a dog. That's a really interesting take. Somebody who can have a baby. I'm just wondering about women who postmenopausal. They can't have babies anymore. So I guess you're not a woman anymore. Technically not a woman. Maybe you can watch over other people's babies. I mean, ultimately that's the goal. Women stay in the kitchen and grandmas take care of the babies, and husbands go out there and do the work. I mean, maybe we could have that if the husband could earn a living off of one paycheck, but that's just not the world that we live in anymore. Everybody's got to have 2 jobs to get by. Hell, I've got like 4. So let's get to work, America. Let's get back to work. I mean, Elon Musk says that everybody's lazy and nobody wants to work. And Donald Trump says that, they're either out there playing golf or playing tennis. I mean, that guy doesn't play any golf. I think his last term he spent nearly a year playing golf. Out of his 4 years, 1 year was playing golf, and which we paid for, of course, because we always pay for his golf excursions. We pay for all of his Secret Service to go down to Mar-a-Lago and hang out there and watch his ass. If I'm not mistaken, there is a golf course pretty close to D.C. that he could play at, but no, he likes his Mar-a-Lago, so I guess that's just the way it's going to be. But, since this is a trans issue, and I, being a trans woman, I feel like I should weigh in a little bit about it. What is a woman? What isn't a woman? I remember last year during the Olympics, there was a boxer, a woman boxer. Her name was Imani Khalif. She was from Algeria, and she still is a woman boxer, and she won. I believe she won the gold medal, and everybody was really upset about it because they thought that she looked like a man. Well, this is the kind of thing that is going to get us into trouble. People who don't understand that, genetics, people vary the way they look. I walk down the street, people think I'm just some tall, blonde, white woman, and nobody gives a second thought. But there are women out there that are a little bit rougher around the edges, and they're actual cis women. The ones that the Republican Party are okay with, the cis women. And, they'll go to a public bathroom, and then some crazy old biddy will go, that man with short hair is in the bathroom, and then they go get a security guard, and the security guard comes in there and walks into the bathroom. A male security guard will walk into the bathroom to find this woman, and with short hair, but according to the old biddy, she looks like a man. How is this going to play out? I mean, are we going to get to a point where we're going to have to prove to the cop or the security guard or whoever the old biddy goes and complains to, or we're going to have general inspection? I mean, I don't think that the tits are going to be enough. They're going to have to be showing the junk too. This is going to mess with women, including Imani Khalif, who is a woman, a genetically born woman. She's tough as nails and she could box her ass off, but she is a woman. Now, I mean, what does the Republican Party want? Do they want her to show her genitalia? Because that's some bullshit right there. That's pretty fucked up. If the definition of a woman is somebody who can bear children, that means that nobody is a woman unless you are actually pregnant shooting out a man's baby. What are we doing? What are we fucking doing? I mean, to explain again the difference between gender and sex, sex being a biological term, gender being what would I, it would be, a gender would be it's a social construct, you know? It's like the difference between white, brown, black people. I mean, black people aren't black, they're dark brown. Brown people aren't always brown. You know, you could be Latino and be white. You know, Spanish people from Spain consider themselves white. And in this country, they would consider themselves white. You know, Irish people didn't used to be white back in the day. You know, they had other names for the Irish and the Italians. Whiteness is a frickin' construct. It evolves over time. So does gender. You don't have to be a binary male or female. I feel like this is probably the people who are listening to this that agree with me are going to completely understand and go, yes, please move on. But the people that I'm trying to get them to understand, they don't want to hear what I have to say. So they're telling me to shut the fuck up and move on. Tranny. All right, moving on. Something else Trump said this weekend. What did he say? He said that he doesn't care if prices are going up, and specifically on cars, because American cars are going to come back to this country. Dude, the Ford F-150, the America car or the American truck, is made in Mexico. Parts are from Canada, made in Mexico. Maybe pieced together here in an assembly line on some respect in America, but it comes from all over the place to make this one truck, this one American truck. What are we talking about here? America, yet again, doesn't seem to understand the capitalistic model. Wealthy people don't really give a shit. They want to be able to repatriate their funds from wherever. So money can travel across the border freely. But now we're going to have tariffs on products that Americans need to buy. And I keep repeating this over and over again. Donald Trump, you frickin' moron. Factories don't just build themselves here in America. Without time and a lot of government subsidies, you are going to have to shell out some bucks to get these factories made. I mean, you know, I love the capitalistic model. Oh, we don't pick winners and losers. We absolutely pick winners and losers. Government invests subsidies in things that they want in this country. I mean, we give $4 billion a year in subsidies to Exxon alone. You think they got enough money? I think they got enough money, but we need to subsidize them more so, you know, they won't raise the price to sell their gas here. Look, when an oil company drills oil out of our ground, while it's in our ground, it's American oil. As soon as they pull it up, it's Exxon's oil, and then they can sell it to whoever the hell they want to. So it doesn't belong to us. It belongs to them now, as well as these car companies. The CEOs, they might say that it belongs to them, but the cars themselves are made from parts all over the place and manufactured in Mexico quite often. So doing a tariff on Mexico is just shooting ourselves in the foot. And if Donald Trump is saying that he doesn't care if the car prices go up, that just shows you what kind of an elite asshole he is. And speaking of elite assholes, let's move on to Elon Musk, because he's a wonderful individual. He is up in Wisconsin giving a little rally to a whole bunch of people that he basically bribed to be there. Whether it's a $100 check or $20 checks for taking pictures with his little petition and saying thumbs up, or offering $1 million checks. It is a bribe. And the whole time, He's being booed by some people in the audience going, oh, those are George Soros people. You are the richest man on the planet. You make George Soros look like a poor man. You make him look like he should be living in a tenement building, the amount of money that you make. And you are standing in a crowd of people that you have bribed to be there, yelling at or chastising a couple of people in the audience, booing you, that they are being bribed by George Soros to be there. The irony is just palpable. It's just right over their head. And the rest of his minions there, they probably got their $100 checks. They're like, Elon, Elon. And then he goes, USA, USA. And it gets the crowd clapping like fucking circus seals. All you got to do is say USA and they start clapping. I know that American intelligence has been going down for a while now, but I mean, I don't want to say we've hit rock bottom because it can always get worse. But god damn, how dumb do you have to be? Elon hasn't done jack shit except make babies and collect government subsidies. Barack Obama basically gave him NASA. He didn't build the Hyperloop. He built a little tunnel in Las Vegas. He said he was going to use the dirt to build housing for homeless. He didn't. In 2010, he said we were going to be on Mars in 10 years. We're not. We're not even fucking close. He did not create PayPal. He was just bought onto it. He didn't create Tesla. He bought onto it. He didn't create NASA. He was given a subsidy by Barack Obama to do his SpaceX thing. The guy makes $8 million a day in government subsidies. I think he's gotten somewhere around 40 billion of his wealth from government subsidies. The guy has not done anything except troll on fucking Twitter. By the way, didn't create Twitter either. He just bought it. I mean, is that the bar that we got to cross? You don't have to actually be smart or intelligent. You just have to be rich enough to buy whatever the fuck you want. And then people will worship you like you're a deity. When are we going to stop worshiping billionaires? They are not any better than you. They all shit just like you do. And most of the time, the wealthier they are, the more they suck in bed anyway. I mean, Elon Musk, there's no proof that he actually had sex with any of these women. That he has, 15 kids now? 15 kids. Pretty sure that the bulk of them, they're all artificially inseminated. And if you're wealthy enough, you can pick the gender. I mean, it reminds me of that movie Gattaca. That doesn't sound like a dystopic future at all. No. Let's just get our genetic code and go, you're looking a little light on the genetics. We're just going to have to kick you out. Elon Musk wouldn't cross that bar. His grandfather was a Nazi. His father was a fucking Nazi. He is given Sig Heils. He's a fucking Nazi. He calls himself a natalist. He doesn't care about babies. He cares about making white babies. And specifically, his own white babies. And pretty much all of them don't want to have anything to do with him except for the little booger-picking 4-year-old that he brought into Donald Trump's office and told him, you're not the boss, my daddy's the boss. Which, by the way, go on, King. That shit made me laugh. He picked his nose, wiped a booger on the Resolute desk and told Donald Trump, you're not the boss, my dad's the boss. Which, he wrong. Donald Trump's playing golf. Every once in a while he stands in front of a microphone and says, I think she's a nasty woman. Or, the trans, they're messing with your children. Jesus Christ, man. We're so fucking cooked. Sometimes I feel like we're so cooked. Anyway, Elon Musk is down in Wisconsin trying to buy that Supreme Court election, that Supreme Court seat in Wisconsin. They already have lawsuits against him, and this seat will either ensure that those lawsuits continue because he's trying to buy an election. Meanwhile, he's going, oh, the Democrats want to gerrymander. Dude, the state is already gerrymandered. In the last election, they got 53% of the vote in Wisconsin. Republicans did. They got 65% of the seats. This is democracy? This is bullshit. Gerrymandering and taking away people's voting rights is the Republicans' bread and fucking butter. That's what they want to do. They know they can't win on their policies because their policies is deregulation for corporations and tax cuts for rich people. And if you're a regular folk, no more Medicare, no more Medicaid, no more Social Security, no more social services. You're fucked. And all the prices are going up, and I don't care. That's the Republican policy that they would have to run on. But they have gerrymandering. They have voter suppression. And it still keeps it really close. So, folks, tomorrow is the last day if you're in Wisconsin, go vote. For God's sakes, go vote. And speaking of voting, if you are a New Yorker, you're here in the city with me, Zohran Mamdani, he's the man. He's good. He's smart. He is an actual progressive. He actually gives a shit about the fact that the rent prices in New York City are out of fucking control. I don't know about you. My rent's going up. I'm sure it's going up across the country. But in New York, it's especially crazy. New York, LA, probably somewhere, places in Chicago, the rents are out of control. Zohran Mamdani is the only guy that's even talking about that. And before you give me some fucking Andrew Cuomo bullshit, Andrew Cuomo is bought off by real estate and big business. He closed down a shitload of hospitals before the pandemic to give them to real estate. And when the pandemic happened, we didn't have enough beds. So what did Andrew Cuomo do? He sent all of those sick elderly people back to their old folks' homes to infect every health-challenged elderly person there. And 15,000 old people died from fucking COVID in those first couple of months, thanks to Andrew Cuomo. He did the IDC, that's the Independent Democratic Conference or Caucus. Basically, he comes in and goes, oh, I would really love to do all these, progressive blue state liberal things for our state. But these damn Democrats in the state legislature just won't let me do it. Those were Democrats that were paid to not do Democratic shit. And Andrew Cuomo used that as a way to act progressive, but not actually do anything fucking progressive. Andrew Cuomo is trying to reinvent himself. Look, we are all privy to the ass-grabbing nonsense that he did. You can't get you couldn't get a young person, a young girl that worked for him without her ass getting grabbed. Andrew Cuomo just rolling around grabbing tits and ass. He can't help himself. The guy is a shadow of his father, and he is bought and paid for by real estate. You think he's going to come to New York and help you bring the rent prices down? Hell no. So my advice to you, in New York, the way we vote, we have ranked choice voting. There are a lot of people that are running for mayor. Whatever you do, do not put Andrew Cuomo or our current mayor in your pick. You get to pick 5 people. Pick 5 people. Do not put Andrew Cuomo on there. He is a shitheel, and he does not deserve to be able to reinvent himself as mayor of New York City. We're dealing with enough bullshit as it is in this country and in this town to have to bring that asshole back. The dude is basically just blue fucking MAGA. He's Donald Trump with a New York accent. Fuck Andrew Cuomo. I'm exhausted already. Oh my God, I'm so tired. Representative Victoria Spartz, a Republican from Indiana, did a couple of town halls in her state, and she basically said that if you come here, without coming here the right way, which Republicans, they don't care if you came here the right way or not, they're going to kick you out. Well, you get a green card, you're legal or not, they don't care. But she says, if you come here illegally, you get no due process. Fuck you, lady. Fuck you. The Constitution says it in plain English. You are not anyone. The word says any person shall not be deprived life, liberty, or property without due process. It doesn't say American. It doesn't say citizen. It says anyone. I don't want to hear jack or shit from people talking about but the Constitution. Ouch, my Constitution. You can blow me. There is no Constitution with these people. Donald Trump, well, after he got his ass handed to him in 2020 election, said that we need to suspend the Constitution so I can stay being president. You don't care about the Constitution. You care about winning. And you will do anything, including breaking the law, to do it. And this woman, she got an earful. Her whole audience, and by the way, the Republican Party will probably say, oh, they were all Soros-funded Democrats. I looked at the audience. They're all a bunch of 70-year-old white folk who are the only people that can actually go during the middle of the day to go to a town hall because everybody else is working. So the only people that get to go to these things are older people, probably concerned about their Social Security and Medicare because they see what Donald Trump and Elon Musk are doing. But when she stood up there and says, you don't get due process, man, that goes against everything America is about. That's what makes America what it is. That's what makes America great, is that it doesn't matter who you are, you still get due process. And of course, that's going out the window now. We're just rounding up people off the street and sending them to Guantanamo Bay or sending them to El Salvador. That is not America. That is psychosis. That's crazy. And it's completely illegal and completely against the Constitution. Victoria Spartz or whatever the hell you're called, read a fucking book. You idiot. God damn. Okay, I'll finish it on this. Rachel Ziegler, who is the star for the new Disney, I don't want to say new, for Snow White. She's the star of Snow White. She plays the titular character. She plays Snow White. And when you look at her, she looks like Snow White. She got the little Snow White hair. She got the Snow White dress. She can sing her ass off. My God, she can sing her ass off. She just did West Side Story, which put her in the zeitgeist because she stole the show in that movie, which, by the way, just another remake. And that's kind of my point. Everybody's blaming her because she said a couple of things. One, she said that I'm not really sitting around waiting for a Prince Charming to save me, but that's the characters, and she also said that this Snow White, this live action Snow White, is not like the old Snow White. They got rid of the dwarves. Well, they have 7 people. They don't have the dwarves. Because they thought that would be insensitive to little people to have a whole bunch of little people in there. Look, I'm not here to rehash that, okay? She said, thank you all for supporting me in this endeavor. And she also said, free Palestine. And that was enough to get everybody up in arms. But here's the thing that most people aren't remembering. A year ago, when it was announced that Rachel Ziegler would be the new Snow White, she is Polish and she is Mexican. So she's a half Polish Jew and half Mexican. She was not white enough to be Snow White. I saw so many 40-year-old men who, by the way, This movie is not made for you. This is a children's movie. Snow White is a children's movie. I watched it when I was a child. Why are you 45-year-old dude losing your mind over a fucking children's movie? But they were angry about the announcement because she said she wasn't white enough because it says in the story that her skin is as white as snow. Oh my God, grow up. Grow up. You were losing your mind. I mean, this reminds me of how the conservative pundits were losing their mind over Barbie because it was too woke. And you go woke, you go broke. I believe Barbie broke $1 billion, whatever. This movie, this Snow White movie, has cost anywhere between $275 and $350 million on a remake. It's a remake, folks. I believe, and everybody's saying that this movie is crashing because of a number of reasons, mostly because of Ziegler saying that free Palestine. Let's not forget that Gal Gadot, I can't remember her real last name, I think it's like Greenberg or something, but Gal Gadot sucks. She sucks as an actress. Everything I've ever seen her in, she sucks. The only movie that I actually liked that she was in was Wonder Woman because everybody else was great. Chris Pine was charming as shit. Everybody else was great in the movie. And she did look like Wonder Woman. She's pretty. She looks like Wonder Woman. But she can't act to save her life. Hell, half of the people on the island where Wonder Woman is from all had to adopt her accent because she couldn't manage to speak without that accent. She is a shit actress. Not to mention she's a former IDF soldier, which means that a lot of people on the left are not going to watch it because they don't like her. And by the way, talking about Rachel Ziegler saying free Palestine, she has been doing all kinds of Israeli propaganda, Gal Gadot. All kinds. And nobody said anything to her about it. The reason why this movie is tanking is a number of reasons. First of all, you're spending way too much money on an IP that doesn't really carry the weight anymore. Snow White was like from the 30s, for God's sakes. And I watched it when I was a kid and I liked it because it was pretty and the songs were good. And, and Snow White was, singing to a bird and it was lovely and the mean queen was mean and the mean queen got hers in the end. So they overspent. They did not advertise. By the way, I don't know if you guys know anything about movies, but generally speaking, if you spend, let's just say you spend $200 million on a movie, you got to spend $200 million on advertising. Disney didn't advertise it. They also released it before spring break. Who goes to these movies? Adults don't go to these movies. The only adults that you're going to see in these movies are the ones that got kids in tow. Because mommy, daddy, take me to go see the Snow White movie. Adults are not supposed to be watching this. This is not an adult movie. This is a children's movie. So they didn't advertise. They overspent. They didn't release it at a good enough time, maybe during spring break when kids are actually free to go to the movies. And then they turn around and want to blame it on the 25-year-old girl who said free Palestine. She's becoming a scapegoat, and it's blatantly obvious, and it's absolute bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Hell, man, they sent an executive, his name is Platt, to go tell her to take down, he flew across the country to go tell her to take down her Free Palestine post. And she told him to fuck off. Because of freedom of speech. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, she should know better because she's tanking the movie that she's in. The executives hired her, specifically hired her. Whose fault is it? We need to come to grips with, when we're having debates about, who is right and who is wrong. You need to ask yourself a simple question. Who has the power? Is it the 25-year-old singing actress, or is it the multi-billion-dollar company? I'll let you decide. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for stopping by. Again, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time. Take care.